Isn't this such a beautiful place?
It is.
And there's so much more I still have to show you.
Simba, I don't understand. You've been alive all this time. Why didn't you come back to Pride Walk?
And leave paradise?
Simba, Scarlet the hyenas take over the Pride Lands.
What?
Everything's destroyed. There's no food, no water. If we go back together, maybe we can do something about it.
I can't go back.
Why not?
Doesn't matter. Hakuna Matata!
So this play is actually based on the Broadway version of Lion King, and it was a monumental task. The amount of production value that we had to put into this show, the mask work, the set pieces, the costuming. A little bit afterwards I was like, why did I do this? But I'm happy I did now. This play presented different challenges. So one of them was the puppetry aspect of it. That definitely was something that I hadn't experienced before. We did actually have a professional puppeteer come in and work with the students who were puppeting.
Timon it's not a very hard role. He doesn't have that much dialogue, but the puppeteering is, I think, the hardest part. It's very hard to not only emote as an actor, like that's already a tough job, but to have that translate to something else that you can only a little bit control and that you can see just about half of. Controlling something else's body and emotions, but channeling your own energy into it is quite hard.
Why, when he was a young warthog, when I was a young warthog.
Very nice. Thanks.
A double cast is really useful. It provides like a lot of inspiration for you. You see their mistakes so you can improve your own. You make mistakes so they can improve their own, and it's a cascade of getting better from each other to culminate in two great final performances. I'm in the ensemble like a bunch of other people. We have about, I think it's a little bit over 100 cast in this play, and most of them are just acting as, in Hakuna Matata, it's the greenery that makes the background of the jungle that Timon and Pumbaa live in, and they engage in the dance numbers and a couple scenes too.
We want to fill the space and make the songs look cool. Some of the scenes that we're in, make those look good. We're there to boost everybody else and to have some fun.
In Circle of Life, I was the butt end of the giraffe, so yeah. And I just can't wait to be king. I am a pink cheetah, and then in Hakuna Matata, Can You Feel the Love Tonight, I am a flower or a tree or something. It's kind of unclear. I mean, it's not much different. Being a lead is, you just talk. That's the only difference. You still sing the same songs, you sing the same tunes, you dance 99% of the time the same.
In grade 10, we just got here, we know what we're gonna get. The grade 12s and grade 11s, that the big lead roles are for them. And when you actually come into it, there is no real hierarchy. Everyone is equally as important. Without everyone in it, the show wouldn't be nearly as good.
It does have a lot of authentic African language in it, which you don't see so much of in the animated version of Lion King. Dealing with a foreign language was another thing that I thought was a big challenge.
There's Zulu, Setswana, and Xhosa, which are all kind of, I guess, all over African languages, kind of like Western Central Africa. So of course, living in Canada and me not being exposed to that, I had to do like a fair amount of research to, for proper pronunciation. Some of their consonants aren't the same that we would make, even though it reads the same. So that was the biggest challenge at first, was the language. And then the other challenge, I think, has been with Nala singing Shadowland. And for a junior production, it's quite vocally challenging and demanding. So seeing our two Nalas actually, seeing their voices develop and seeing them rising to that occasion at this age in their life has been really cool.
And where the journey may lead, let your prayers be my guide. I cannot stay here, my family, but
remember my pride.
People are always, they wonder if I'm crazy to have over 100 kids working together, and are always surprised that in the end I totally hand that production over to them, that we hope that myself and Miss Forbes, who's the musical director, and Mr. Boomer is the technical director, it is our hope that we have done our jobs well enough that we can hand it over to the students, and it can be a student-run show from top to bottom.
Most of the costumes we made, so the headpieces were all made as well. They're all paper mache. We did order Timon and Pumbaa, but most of the stuff is created by me and my crew. One of the challenges was definitely Scar, Simba, and Mufasa. Their whole ensemble. I had to really make sure that I get the aesthetic of the Lion King, but make sure that it looked good on stage and that it wasn't too, too colorful or too abrasive. As much difficult as it caused me, I think the actors portray them so well, and it looks so good on stage. And I'm so grateful and so happy that my team came together and we did that. I'm beyond impressed.
Don't turn your back on me, Scar.
No, Mufasa. Perhaps it is you who shouldn't turn your back on me.
Is that a challenge?
Well, after our first audition, we had our first callbacks, and then because everyone was so good during all of our callbacks, I had to do 2 more, and then somehow that landed me the role of Scar. I haven't had a chance to play a bad guy yet, and I thought it'd be really fun, and I really love the character. The play is a bit less cartoony, I guess, and emphasizes kind of like the loss of a loved one more, and how you deal with that, and family relations.
There were wildebeest. He tried to help me. It was an accident. I didn't mean for.
Of course. No one ever means for these kind of things to happen. But the king is dead. And if it weren't for you, he'd still be alive.
I think the part about this play that makes it so special is something that also makes you have to handle it with delicate care, and that is that it is a story of love and family, but also with grief too, and the complex emotions that go with that, and how people move on from that. And I knew personally, and I also knew a lot of people in the audience would be dealing with very similar feelings, and I wanted to honor that. And I feel like drama is becoming even more important in the technological age that we're living in, to make students more sensitive to the emotions of others and to communicating face to face.
For anyone who is interested in joining, I honestly think it's so nice. We have our own little community and tech and actors, and we all come together as this nice little family, and it's lovely to see, because you don't really get to see that outside of anywhere else in the community. You only really see it in these kind of settings, and so it's that, you have this one opportunity, why not take it?
It's a commitment, but it's not like it's hard to commit to something when you have so many people that you can talk to and people that you can rely on. They can rely on you. It's just a big circle of people just being good to each other.
Parkland School Division, where the world opens up.